All right, hello. Today is April 4th, Friday, NFP day. A lot of movement in the market. I want to go over a sell opportunity that unfortunately didn't activate by 3 or 4 pips, but I think it is a really good little trade to go over because it's another possible scenario and the way you can use Jordan's strategy. So I'm gonna go right back into it. 5 minute time frame. Get your highs and lows of days from two previous trading days. We have this low of day here, and then our high of day here. I'm gonna leave everything marked up already, just for the sake of the video, to not have it too long. And then the previous day, this was the previous high of day, and then the previous low of day. Then you get into your top-down analysis, starting from the weekly. And then for the weekly, we do have the previous contrary candle before the big push. So I did have red and blue colors for the candles previously, but I've changed it up just to change it up. So it'd be this previous contrary candle before this large push. So this would be the weekly demand zone that we're currently working with for price to get to. And then a weekly on the left side was all the way up here. You pretty much go to the left and you look for any possible areas where price could get to on the weekly time frame for it to have a reaction. We do have this one, but price already used it when it came back and touched it. Considering that price had already gone too far and came back, I can't count it as volume leaving the area, so it is used. So the next weekly would be this contrary candle before this bearish push. And then if it were to go through this one, then this would be the next one on the weekly time frame. And then same thing for the bottom down here. Should price break this one, the next weekly would be this one down here. Seeing as how all of these are already tapped, this would be the next one on the weekly. We'll go down to the daily and we'll see what we got here. All right, so we see price took off from here. I wouldn't necessarily count this as used, although price was very choppy and stayed in this area for a while. I'll consider this unused. And we also have this one down here that's unused. I didn't mark it just because it's not relevant to current price. We're currently all the way up here, so I did look to the left in case price was somewhere near our area here. And we'll see what we got here on the daily. It's a little far. All right, here we go. So this is the daily supply area that we're working with currently. That would be the next target for price had it continued going up. We can see that I got pretty close. Didn't quite touch it. That's okay. We're working with today. We're not working with what may have happened or didn't happen. And we'll see what price has in store for us. Then I'll go down to the H4. I'll see that we do have an H4 up here that created this large push. And then on the left side, our next H4 is down here. Let me see, zoom in here a little bit. It's this contrary candle before this big push. It kind of looks like it's used already, considering this candle dipped into it. Although the next 4 hour would be way down here. I'm just counting it because it's a possible area where price could still have a reaction to. The whole entire demand zone, like I said, is the entire candle. So it could still very well come down here and have a reaction. And also there is an H1 in there as well. Let me see. And let me also replay this to Friday 8 a.m. to where I saw it. Yeah, I'll just leave it there. Let me go back to the 1 hour. And then the 1 hour, we can see that we had this 1 hour supply here. And price kind of had a breakthrough of this area, but I'll break down a little more why I was looking for sells here in this area. And then the next possible target for a supply on the H1 is way up here. And then our next one, can't really count this one because it was used here already. So continue going. and then be this contrary candle before this big push. Even though it is like in the middle, like it doesn't look like a proper elbow. Like this one is a little more of an elbow. This one is probably the true area of demand, but this is an area of demand that could be used. So we're gonna mark it up too. And we're looking for where price could get us to either the upside or the downside. Let me go into the 15-minute and see what we got. And this is where I decided that I was gonna look for sells, because although it looks like price is going bullish and it's possibly shifting structure, it was actually headed to this M15 here. Remember, you're doing it on all time frames, and we're waiting for a shift of structure to take us in either direction. Had price continued and broke past this M15 completely, then I would have looked in to take a buy from a demand that was left here to take us to this H4. But we'll see what price does, and we'll see that price actually sets us up for a sell instead. All right, so I'm looking for a shift of structure on the lower time frame, on either 5-minute, 1-minute, or even 15-minute if it gives it to me. And then we'll see that price does give this shift of structure here. But I think I woke up around 8:15, so I saw it around here. And then we'll see what price does, because I wasn't truly convinced whether it was gonna go for the sell opportunity or for the buy opportunity, considering it had gone pretty deep inside of the supply zone. So I waited a little extra just for a little more confirmation. Thankfully, I did not get into the sell here. And then price continued. And then actually it was this M15 that it had a reaction from. And then we'll see what happened. Again, I'm waiting for a proper shift of structure with a little more confirmation. I waited for after NFP news, which was at 8:30. Didn't want to get caught up in that volume. I believe that's why I didn't decide to take any trade here. There actually wasn't any real shift of structure here. There was a tiny one here, but it still hadn't been 8:30 yet. So I wanted to make sure that the news had passed first. So we'll continue with what price was doing. It was messing around for a little bit, and then realistically I wanted like a good shift of structure with a lot of volume, and then this is what price did. Price gave this momentum, seller's momentum, that left this M1 behind. The only thing that I wanted was for price to disrespect this demand. I needed to make sure that this demand is not a valid one, because if this ends up being a valid demand, price could just do something like this, react off of that area, and then continue to the upside. So before I decided on selling or buying, I wanted to make sure that the 5-minute demand was disrespected first. All right, then once I saw this, that confirmed my trade criteria. Let me replay a little bit more, a little further back. All right, once I got this and I got closure under the 5-minute, that was enough confirmation for me to consider selling from this M1. But then we'll see what price continues doing. Price leaves behind also this M1. In session, you can use an M1 entry as a valid area of supply or demand if it gives you another big push with a shift of structure. So we'll see what price does. It uses that M1 and creates all this volume down here. And we'll see that it left behind this M1. And then this is now a lower probability sell, but still a valid probability sell. So you could have done one of two things. You could have left this one and leave the higher probability trade, or you decide that you want to take the lower probability trade, which is still valid, using an M1 in session to quote unquote not miss the move. and have the trade still play out for you. Although realistically, if you want to go for high setups only, it would be this one, but this one is completely valid because of this M1 supply that was left behind after the 5 minute shift of structure, along with the 1 minute shift of structure. Left behind this M1, created a new supply off this M1, and continued with this large volume move, leaving behind this M1. You would have put your sell limit here, and we'll see what price ends up doing. It actually missed it by 3-4 pips, and price continued for about 1 to 15, 1 to 16. But that is an entry confirmation on the 1 minute time frame for a sell opportunity. Just because I've already done a buy opportunity video, I want to do a little sell opportunity. So this was a very good example using the M1 in session. There will be times where you sit down at 8:30, 8:20, whatever, and you can already tell where you want to place your buy or sell limit just by looking to the left. A good one would have been like per se USDJPY. Today it got close to this daily demand zone, and then it left behind on the 5 minute. There was a shift of structure. This is the importance of looking on both time frames, 5 minute and 1 minute, 1 minute, even the 15 minute. It shifted structure on the 5 minute, although on the 1 minute it didn't look like a shift of structure. See as how it hadn't broken this previous high, but on the 1 minute, on the 5 minute, excuse me, it had broken this high, thus making this M5 valid, and then that's where you would put your buy limit. In a perfect world scenario, you really would have wanted this to at least touch it by the pip, but it was close enough that you could count this as a proper M5 to take you to the upside, and then you'll see that price end up continuing up. So this is one instance where price, as soon as you sit down and you see this move, you can have your buy limit set already. You don't necessarily have to keep analyzing, but definitely for this GBP CAD sell, we did have to stay in the market up until 10 o'clock, and there was Powell news as well. So you want to keep in mind news events. You don't want to get caught in that. That's why I waited till after 8:30 to decide on whether I was going to buy or sell. And that's the video. Hope you guys found it helpful.